All right, good. Well, I became introduced to Anthony Trollope in about 2015, when I was 51. So definitely a little bit later. And it was a little bit unusual circumstances. As part of my work as a neurologist, I perform neurological evaluations on people who are aggressive. And often these are people who are violent and they're on death row or facing a death sentence. And so I was asked to consult on a case in Arkansas, and I flew to Little Rock, and the attorney picked me up at the airport. His name is Scott Braden, and we had lunch together. And I happened to mention to Scott that I had just finished reading Middlemarch. And he said, "Oh, are you a fan of Anthony Trollope?" And I said, "I've never read anything by Anthony Trollope." And he was shocked, and so I had to help him recover from that shock. And so we went. The next day, we went to the prison, and I spent my 4 hours with this inmate. And then on the way from the prison to the airport, when we arrived at Scott was driving me to the airport, and at the airport, he said, "Okay, you must start reading Anthony Trollope." And so once again, the warden pops up. And so this is a copy of the warden that he gave to me. And I started reading it on the plane on the way home, and it's just been wonderful. I tell Scott all the time, he gave me the best gift I've ever received, because it's just been such a source of joy and happiness reading those books. I was mainly a nonfiction reader before. I read a lot of fiction, but I was interested more in nonfiction. But I've learned a lot from Anthony Trollope, because I think also actually pertaining to even the work that I do in terms of helping to understand what makes people sort of function and behave the way that they do. Trollope has just such a sensitivity and a tenderness about people's character, and a sort of prescient understanding of what creates character. And he would view it as people were endowed with certain gifts or certain talents. Nowadays, we would say it's a genetic factor, that people are the results of their genes and their environment, and people just are who they are, and they can't really be expected to change or behave differently without proper circumstances to allow that to happen. And Trollope really understood that very innately, and he speaks about it in a very kind way. So I really enjoyed it. It's been wonderful. I have a lot more books to read. And of course, echoing what other people have said, the Trollope Society Zoom meetings have been one of the, I won't say good, but less awful things to come about from the COVID pandemic. So that's my story.